Revive Us Again. It was the late Eric House on our Gower Christian Church Sanctuary organ. A few measures of that great hymn, Revive Us Again. You're watching 7 Minutes with the Savior, Pastor Randy Fry. The clock is ticking. Coming to you from Studio 2B, 2 Bravo, in the Gower Christian Church, the sprawling media complex here. We're in the midst of Vacation Bible School, so there's tons of activity around the church all day, and particularly in the evening. And Vacation Bible School is an important time. I think a lot of times people think that there's not a lot of gravity, a lot of importance to Vacation Bible School, but it's one of our most important ministries in terms of making contacts with families. I've been reading through the Nehemiah, the book of Nehemiah in the Old Testament, and I've come to the end of Nehemiah, chapter 13, and there's an interesting moment. Nehemiah, who is a great reformer with Ezra, and Nehemiah is the governor, really both the secular and the religious leader of the people of Jerusalem and basically Israel, having returned from exile, and he has completed his task of rebuilding the wall around Jerusalem, which had been destroyed, and the temple is, at least in the process of being rebuilt. It might all be completely finished now. And he goes to see the king of Persia, King Artaxerxes. He goes, who was permitting the exiles of Israel to return to their homeland, and he goes and has consults with King Artaxerxes. And while he's away, and he was away for some time, while the cat's away, the people of Jerusalem played. They started using rooms in the temple for non-sacred purposes. They were not observing the Sabbath. They were working and selling things on the Sabbath. And the other thing that had gone on was that they were losing their ethnic distinctiveness by marrying foreign people. And the issue here isn't racial or ethnicity. The issue was their fidelity to God. Because what was happening was, as they married foreign people that weren't Hebrew, weren't Israelites, they began to lose their culture, which included the beginning to practice worship of other gods. And that's the issue. This is the whole issue, is that the people around Israel worshipped pagan gods. And when they start marrying and having families, they start losing their singular devotion to God. And there's a moment, Nehemiah comes back and he finds all of this is happening. And this is Nehemiah 13. In those days I also saw Jews who had married women of Ashdod, Ammon, and Moab, and half of their children spoke the language of Ashdod, and they could not speak the language of Judah, but spoke the language of various peoples, and I contended with them. This is Nehemiah writing and talking. Some of the children could not even speak Hebrew anymore. And the issue here is serious. They didn't know the language of their faith. They couldn't read the scriptures if they were literate enough to read. And if they couldn't understand what they heard if the scriptures were read out loud, which was very common. That was mainly how people in the Old Testament knew the teachings of God and the law of God, is it was read out loud. But here, a generation of children, some couldn't even speak or understand or read that language. And that's very serious when it comes to trying to help those families be loyal to God. Why do I go into this? Vacation Bible School is one of those things where we help the children know the language of God. It's fun. There's a lot of what you look at Vacation Bible School that goes on that doesn't seem terribly religious, but we are trying to help them learn the language of God and stay familiar with the language of God. One of the impressive things is most of the kids from pre-K through 4th grade have memorized our theme verse from Romans. They can say it from their heart. They've learned this verse and can repeat it. And they're learning stories from the Bible. And so the important work of Vacation Bible School is we're helping them learn the language of faith, learn the language of God, and stay in touch with that language. And that's critical. That's critical for their future of becoming familiar with who Jesus is, and obviously our aim is to make disciples, that they would place their confidence, place their faith in Jesus, and this would be a lifelong faith relationship that would impact every facet of their life. That's what we want for them. And to do that, they have to know the language of faith. And Vacation Bible School is one of those great ministries that helps us teach them the language of faith and the stories of faith. Vacation Bible School is an important ministry. And I hope that you support it with Gower Christian. If you are members here, hope you support it with wherever you worship, if you're not local and not a member of our congregation. It's an important ministry. And to that end, I ask that you pray. Pray for our Vacation Bible School. Pray for all the Vacation Bible School ministries that have been going on all this summer. But ours is going on now, and if you would remember our church and our ministry, Vacation Bible School ministry, in prayer this week, I would sure appreciate it. We have one name also to add. We're praying for Terry Halsey. This is a partner of a good friend of my wife's in South Dakota, who suffered a very serious stroke, and it seems to be an accompanying heart attack that went with that. But he's in real serious medical situation right now, and they're waiting for some things to stabilize before they intervene surgically. So please remember Terry Halsey in your prayers. Well, as I said, it's a big week. We have Vacation Bible School through Friday, and then worship this Sunday will be centered around Vacation Bible School as the children share what they learned and do bits of their program as a part of our worship message. So Sunday morning at 10:30 we will have worship, and it'll be focused on the Vacation Bible School theme, and children will be involved in that. Come early for Sunday school at 9:15, and we also before worship have coffee and breakfast pastries. I hope that you're certainly invited to come and take advantage of that. Sunday evening at 6, our youth group has a pool party at Doug and Janine Fortner's. And it's kind of our annual back to school pool extravaganza. We'll have dinner and lots of pool time, 6 to 9. Get a hold of Bill Terry, our youth pastor, if you need more information about how to get out to Doug Fortner's. That's a wrap for today. Thanks for watching. Until we meet again online or in person, I bid you peace.